What's up, traders? Welcome to the Day Trading Show. We've got a home team episode for you today, but before we get into it, I want to let you know there is a free trial for ASFX TV if you use the link in the description. You've heard me talk about this before. This is our live streaming service. A lot of people are calling it the Netflix for traders. You get to watch us trade live, our team of funded full-time traders. You get to follow along and trade with us every day, London and New York session. You get access to the recordings of those streams as well, and we do exclusive video uploads to ASFX TV that never make it here to YouTube or anywhere else. So take the free trial. Come in and check it out. There's free samples on the website. There's a ton of free stuff so you can taste it before you commit. And again, it's a month-to-month contract. You can cancel at any time. So it's super easy. We just want to try to help you guys as much as possible, showing you what it's like to be a real full-time funded trader. So check that out. Link in the description. Now enjoy the home team episode. What's up, traders? I want to take a second to break from today's podcast to let you know about the official sponsor of the show, Surge Trader. Surge Trader is a US-based prop firm offering one-step audition and up to $1 million of funding. So if you're looking for a reliable firm based here in the States, Surge Trader is a no-brainer. The payout process is smooth. The customer support is hands down the best in the industry. So if you're looking for that easy one-step audition to get yourself funded and start your professional trading career, Surge Trader is a no-brainer. Check out the link in the description. Take 10% off your audition with that discount code in that link. Now let's get back to the video.
What's up, traders? Welcome to another episode of the Day Trading Show. So today I'm here with my co-hosts, Austin and Evan. Tommy is on date night, I think, again, or looking after the baby. But yeah, we're just having a little bit of a catch-up this week. So yeah, welcome, guys. Why did you kick us off, Austin? How's your week been so far?
Week's been good, bro. That intro was pretty good, considering it was your seventh take. For everybody listening, that was his seventh try at the intro. No, I'm just kidding. Just the second, but it was good, bro. No, I'm always happy to do the home team podcast with you guys. I've had a lot of serious podcasts recently, a lot of serious guests. My week has been really good. I've had 3 trades this week, 1 loser, and then 2 wins. And it's funny, I was saying to Liam today, both of my wins this week come off of the same price, same direction on SPX, and I'm taking them overnight into the next day. Then Liam is coming in the Black Shirt Club, and he's hitting them long, bouncing off low of week. So it's so interesting how 2 people who trade kind of similarly, like we both know the same strategies, can make money on the same asset, but in different directions and at different times of day. It just shows how much abundance I think that there really is in the market. I hate to use that word all the time. You know, I don't like using such a fluffy word, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to mention how I thought it was interesting how almost not late, just lately, but you're finding a lot of your trades like sneakily in the afternoon. We're like, oh, Austin took a trade yesterday. I had no idea because it was after our designated normal trading hours, but you're seeing it really well in the afternoon. You're just riding the trend. So,
I have a 100% win rate after 1 o'clock since July. And I only have like 11 or 12 trades total in that time, but 100% win rate. So I see it really well in the afternoon. I think part of it is because the morning is so busy with news. So much stuff comes out in the morning. You get to the afternoon, how is the news reacting? Like how is price reacting to the news? And then you can kind of ride that. But what I've noticed too, and I'm curious to know what you guys think, especially, I mean, Ev, you trade both, but James, you're more Forex. Do you think the L50, the market sentiment on the TDI, do you think that works better with Forex pairs than it does with indices?
That I personally can't. I did trade indices last year, I guess. But I would actually have to probably agree with that. Although I am using price action more, I am definitely finding my better trades. For example, I had 2 losers on GJ on Tuesday. I had a loser yesterday on GU. The L50 could have been slightly better on GU, GBP, USD, for those that don't trade currencies, Forex.
For those living under a rock.
Yeah. The L50, the market sentiment line was a bit not the greatest yesterday, but my trade today on GCAD was really nice. Good L50, much better. So I'm finding that. But again, what this is also what I want to speak about to ask you guys as well, is like, I've been developing so much as a trader since I joined you guys. I took multiple courses until finding you in end of 2019. Started trading 2018, found you end of 2019, and
it's crazy, bro. That's been almost 4 years. Isn't that crazy?
Now, almost.
It's crazy.
But the way that I developed so much as a trader, so that's what I wanted to ask you. So I was trading the D1, one of our entry systems here at ASFX, which is on the 1 minute time frame. Then I moved to the 5 minute, and now I'm like completely off the 15-minute chart, which I found, I always saw myself as in long term, I want to be like 45 with a family trading, but I don't want to be trading on the 1 minute. I want to be like day trading, not scalping, right? How have you guys in quarter one, since we finished that at the end of March, how have you guys, what are some of your work-ons that you've taken into this quarter?
If you go first.
I think I would just say, first of all, the Forex L50 for sure. I think we've talked about it in the past where with the indices and maybe even a commodity, it could be a little bit more fundamentally driven, but I find that the currencies, it's a lot more technical than not. So that L50, our indicators are going to more likely work out in your favor. But I think this past quarter was one of my best quarters. It's just really finding my setup. I think in the past, I just tried to trade all the setups that I knew and then just everything rather than, yeah, that's a signal, but that's not my signal. I was talking about today on my stream that a move that happened, I was like, that's not my money. Like, yeah, I could have said, I think that goes higher, but that's not really mine. I don't deserve that almost. Like, that's not my trade. I don't belong in that. So over the past quarter, you guys seen, I take pretty much identical trades, long or short. It's the first break, retest, good technicals, good L50, no news, and I just ride it.
I feel like I like that. And I think we're all on the same page with the L50 in the difference between the Forex and the indices. I think indices are so price driven. Like, look, today it just hit 4150 on SPX and now down 4115, lower than even where I got out last night, early this morning. So it's like price is key. It seems like when it comes to indices. With Forex, price is important, but it's more about like what is the trend and can you get a good price in relation to that trend? Like short-term trend on SPY today was up, but now because it hit that key price, it's tanked and now it's at a new low of day. So I think that's kind of where we're all on the same page with that L50. So for anybody listening, if you're trading Forex pairs, you should trust your indicators. But if you're trading indices, some of those indicators might not work to the same probabilities. And that's just facts. That's just data. The work on, I feel like for me, bro, look at my trading since before I went to Europe with the seminar, right? Like I cut out Forex pairs and then I was doing just Bitcoin in the indices. Now I'm just doing SPY and I don't feel any need to start trading other assets. It's weird. And I used to be the kind of trader that was like, you want a long watch list so you don't miss any moves and you can find the best one. Now I'm more like, give me a couple of different ways to trade this one asset and I'm gonna crush it. Like I just said, like I was short last night, could have gotten out of the short like we did. My take profit was hit, wake up, no trades, you're flat. Then Liam comes in and he's showing that same long idea that worked yesterday. So I playbooked that. I'm like, I could get out of the short and then just buy it. Like you can make money both ways, even as a day trader without scalping, but just knowing different strategies to use. So I feel like that's my work on is like get better at what I'm doing, get bigger. Like I've got almost $1 million that I'm going to be funded with here. So bigger, better, and then just continue to do less. It is the saying of our business for a reason, I'm trying to embody that as much as I can.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I got 3 things. I'm just got my stats up here and there's three work on.
He's working on his double unders at CrossFit.
Yes.
He's working on his pull-ups with the rings. What else? What was the third one? The box jumps. He's trying to get good at the box jumps.
The ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
Going to the Olympics gymnastics soon.
We'll call you. We got Nitro Bruce. We'll call you Olympic Bruce next.
Oh my gosh! So these are the 3 things that I've found. Just looking back at the end of the quarter. The first one was, and I didn't really used to look at this, but I'm paying more attention to price action and levels. So that's determining where I want to be buying and selling during the week, using last week's high and low and then the current week's high and low. So here's an interesting stat for you guys. Since November, since I started tracking on this new TRP, so the trade tracker that we use in the Black Shirt Club, where Tom, Austin, Evan, and myself coach traders. It's our mentorship program. We track our trades.
Light plugs. Nice subtle plug right there.
I'm getting good like you.
Come on, keep going. Bro, I got to bust your balls. Come on.
So I haven't taken a trade on Monday since the beginning of November last year, 2022. My base trading day is a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday. They're all pretty equally weighted. Tuesday slightly better, but that's very interesting. Normally, so this is for the currency traders that are listening. Normally, you want to get to the desk on a Monday and you want your base trade to be in the first 30 minutes that you get to the charts the whole week. How often does that happen? Like we so egotistical as humans. We think that we're going to get to the desk on a Monday and the first trade that we take is going to be our best trade all week. How often does that happen? Probably like 1% of the time. But everybody's keen to get to the desk when Monday opens because the markets are open. Just because the markets are open doesn't mean you need to trade. I mean, that's an interesting stat. I'm up 11.42% in 4 months and risking on average 0.5% per trade, and I haven't taken a trade on Monday. So that's an interesting thing. The other thing that was, so the second one was the timings. My best times is the first 2 hours of the London Open, right? That's the second thing. And the third thing is what pairs that I'm trading best, right? So again, with like Evan and Austin, they've summed down their watch. So have I in the last year to 2 years. But I used to think that GU and GJ were my better pairs to trade, but I'm actually break even on them. GU, I'm slightly up, and GJ, I'm up 0.18% in 7 trades. I mean, that's probably not worth trading. But here's an interesting fact, is that I actually was thinking about 7 months ago about taking one of these pairs off my watch list, but it's actually my best pair, is ECAD, Euro Canadian dollar, and GBP CAD. I'm up 3.32 and 3.38 in 7 and 8 trades, 10 trades, respectively. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you got to let your data define your decision making. So maybe Austin or Evan, you guys can speak a little bit on this, but yeah, how do you let your data decide your decision making, and why do you think that's important as traders?
I'll go first on this one, Ev. You know, we're talking about the data and the numbers. It's 4:20 today, and we're sitting here sober as a bird. We should be sparking up to celebrate. I just realized. No, I'm just kidding. But not really. But the data. Come on, bro. We gotta have fun. The audience thinks we're so serious all the time. They gotta know.
No, we're not. Yeah, no, we're not.
You know what I mean?
Serious. I'm a joke. I'm a clown off screen.
But you come off so serious sometimes. So I like doing the home team episodes when we can dick around a little bit. But to your point, great point, great data points to your own trading for sure.
Yeah.
What's important, I think, here that we probably should mention before we talk about anything else in detail. Think back to 4 years ago, like we mentioned, bro, when you first found ASFX, we first started working together. We were not tracking our trades the way we are tracking them now. So maybe first, before we go into what you said, James, speak on that, just the value in the tracking. Not even a plug for the Black Shirt Club, because we give everybody that tracker, but just in general, like, because I always, when new traders ask me for advice, I always say, number one, track all your trades. You'll learn what you're doing wrong. So before we go deeper into the nuances, you want to speak on that for a second?
Yeah, 100%. I actually got a good story to tell on that, actually. So I'll
tell the story. James lost all his hair once he started tracking his trades and realized how much work it would be.
Exactly. It was just too much work.
Too much work. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What's your story?
So basically what happened, I started trading in when I tore my ACL. I was playing rugby, tore my ACL, and then I found trading, right? Took a bunch of courses, found Austin. Started to trade, but I never used to never tracked my trades. Even in the beginning with you guys, never tracked my trades. Okay. Then it was my last year of my degree, and I went to my dad, and my dad was like, well, what are you going to do next year? Like, are you going to get a job? What are you going to do? And I was like, well, I have some coins saved up, but like, it's not enough to trade full time, and I'm not consistent enough yet to trade full time. This was like at the beginning of maybe end of 2019. And I just taken your course, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm finishing my degree, I was like, I'm probably going to have to, I want to do like a postgraduate, something like that, right? That was my plan at that point. This is how your life can change so quickly when you start to become serious about your trading. So, I had a thought, because of, like, you know, trading, going to trade full time, but I was like, you know, that was a bit far fetched for me at the time. So anyway, started to trade, became middle of the year, and I was actually trading pretty well. And I went to my girlfriend's dad, asked me, well, James, you say you're trading well, but like, can I see your stats? And I was like, well, that's interesting. I don't track my stats. And that was like April 2020. And I was like, well, I actually don't track my stats. And then that was like the light bulb moment for me. It was like, hey, I need to connect my account to like my FX book or something like that tracks your stats. Like, undeniably, there's the facts, or like a trade tracker. Like, there's my stats. You can see them. That's how much I've made in this amount of time, etc., etc. And basically what happened was, when I started to do that, I had the hard, cold facts for him. Listen, I'm up 6% this month, you know, and whatever it was. And then he actually he gave me coin. He invested in me, basically. And so did my dad. And that's how I was able to go full time, because they invested in me with a good amount of money, right? But the reason they did that was because I was tracking my stats. They asked me, that this is like guys that don't even trade. These are just, my dad's an accountant, and so is my girlfriend's dad. These are serious financial guys. They don't say, oh, cool, you're trading well, you have some money to trade with. They want stats in front of them to be able to make their decisions and investments off. And I think that's what we all should be doing. If you're looking to trade serious as a serious trader and in this for the long term, you need to be tracking your stats, because guys like that are going to come across you. And if you can show them stats, they're going to take interest.
Very well said. What about you, Ev? Because I know you're a little newer to the whole tracking and everything too. Would you say, like, looking back on your trading before the tracking, you've now seen like faster growth, detailed growth? Like, how would you describe that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we all took markups. Like, we took a picture of what we were seeing, but then what? It just goes away, and then
maybe you review it at the end of the week.
You review it to see what you're looking for.
Right.
But you don't know how often what you're seeing is good and what's bad. So it's different than tracking your stats. Taking a markup is not back testing or tracking your trades. It's just taking a picture,
which is not bad. That's a great place to start. We should say that.
Yeah,
like, doing the markups is half the battle.
Yeah, that's what we did. We take markups and then you study them. We need stats of saying, okay, well, what could I cut out to get better, and what's hurting me? What can I? Oh, I'm doing that really well. That pair's doing really well for me. Let me enhance on that and do better. But if I was just taking pictures of every trade, you might not stand out like that. So definitely tracking your trades. I did it myself, and then it keeps evolving as you guys upgrade the tracking. You add something else into it. It just keeps easier and easier to see what is doing well for you.
So let's ask this question then, because this is something that I think people think about it, but the people who are really serious about joining the mentorship group, they don't think about it as much. But some people are like, why would I need you guys to help me track all of my trades? I could do my Forex, whatever it's called, my FX book. There's like another TradeZella, trade whatever, Wonk Edge, whatever. There's a bunch of different trackers. Why would I need to work with you guys as traders while I'm tracking? James, you want to whack at that one?
Yeah, sure. I think the first one, and for me, is that you come from a biased opinion when you're tracking your own stats.
Exactly what I was going to say, bro. Because when I started tracking everything, you're like, wow, in my tracking, I don't find any losers. It's crazy.
Yeah, you like the legend. You should be flipping the GOAT of trading. Like, you should be the greatest of all time. Like, yeah. So
thanks for clearing up what the GOAT is, bro. Thanks for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, GOAT is like Tom Brady, like it's the same.
Tiger Woods.
Or Michael Jordan. Yeah. Not LeBron.
Bro, you're about to start a beef right now with the LeBron versus MJ argument. Come on, don't start.
Yeah, no, well, that's not even an argument. But it's just you coming from a biased opinion when you're looking at your own stats. So when you're actually working with a team or people holding you accountable, you're actually getting someone else's point of view that wants you to be better, not thinking you are, already there and that. Because I think sometimes, and some people are too hard on themselves as well, where actually they're doing well. Like, I'll give you an example. Manny, who was actually on our episode 66, he's very hard on himself. He's like, James, I could be doing, I'm like, dude, your stats are good. Like, you're trading at a average risk reward ratio of 1.6 R, and your win rate's like 63%. Bro, that's you trading at good stats. But I think like he's too hard on himself. So you get like the opposites, polar opposites. So that's personally why I think having an outside look.
Yeah, you get the guys like him that are tough on themselves, even if they're performing well. But then so he's performing well, tracking, and then still trying to push himself to the next level. The other side of that would be the guys who I feel like track everything, but like you said, are a little bit biased in their tracking. So should we talk about like how to be more unbiased in your tracking and why? Like, because maybe Ev, do you have anything you want to add on that? Like, why having a coach or someone that's gone through it already really next to you as you're doing it, why would you say that would be valuable versus like I said, the people who are going to be like, I'm going to track my own trades and do this on my own?
Yeah, I feel like maybe too many people pretend like they wouldn't take that trade. Like, oh no, now that they see that it's a loser, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't like that. But if it won, you would mark that up, put that in the stats, that's a winner. But if it lost, nah, that's going to bring my risk reward down, my win rate down. I wouldn't have taken that.
So it's really like
just put it in regardless.
Right. It's really like when you do the coaching program, it's really like it's like I feel like we stand there sometimes with a mirror and you make people look themselves in the face. And are you going to lie to yourself? Like, it doesn't matter if you lie to me, I'm going to still trade and make money myself. Are you going to lie to yourself and not be directly honest with yourself in your tracking, most people know. They just need somebody there to hold the mirror for them. I feel like that's a good analogy, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's like, this is what you're doing. Look at it. This is you. This is not Austin or James or Evan. This is X, Y, and Z. John's trading, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want to use a current name of somebody in the club. I was like, who's somebody not in the club? John.
Yeah. He has a good example. So I tweeted about this the other day.
You know, it's a good example if he tweeted about it.
Exactly. Always. You can follow me on Twitter, James Bruce 131,
and his OnlyFans too.
Yes. So this is exactly what Evan was saying. Hindsight bias. A lot of traders should be making 100% per year in and year out, because they can read the left-hand side of the charts, aka the price actions that's already happened. But they can't read the right-hand side of the charts, aka the price action that is yet to come. So a lot of traders, they can read the left-hand side of the charts like a flip, and as I said, they should be making 100% plus per year in, year out, no questions asked. Because they would take this trade and that one was looser, so they wouldn't take that one. So here's a little tip for that. If you can't be at the desk every single minute of every single day, here's a good one. Check in every hour. Let's say your time frame of entry is the 50-minute, like we all three of us use, right? Come back and look every 30 minutes to an hour. And if you see a markup, but you can't actually take it live, or you can't trade it live because you've got other priorities, mark it up in real time. Okay, yes, I'm taking this trade, right? And come back and save the markup at the end of the day, because then you're actually marking it up in real time and not coming back at the end of the day and just finding an entry that you would have taken. So that's a little tip for you guys.
I like that. Do you want to add anything on that, Ev?
I like that. Everyone could read the left. I like that point of view of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very well said. But you know what, bro? There's a lot of things that new traders do that hold them back. That's just one of them. You know, there's actually a book I have on my shelf. I could pull it out for an episode. Like, there's all these cognitive biases that we have, these mental things like confirmation bias, where you're more likely to see information that backs your idea than not, right? And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. So maybe, like, I don't know, I've always felt like studying psychology helps me trade better. Yeah, like knowing why humans think the way we think. Why is the brain, where are we likely to be biased? You know, that's important, I think, because that can, I mean, look, even not that it's a direct example, but look back a few weeks ago, and I've done well since this. But remember that one week where I missed, I think, like 2 or 3 days of perfect L50s because I was waiting for the short on SPX. Evan's nodding his head. You remember, right?
Yeah, you were fundamentally short.
Just distracted.
Whatever it was, but it was against.
Fundamentally short, fundamentally distracted with this bias that I had. And it did not allow me to see the chart clearly. So I think that is, for, you know, like people listening, as advice, read books on human psychology. Don't just read trading books. You know, I know James is big on reading books about sports because of how applicable sports are into trading. You know, bro, it's funny. I just had a call with a guy today about the Blackshirt Club. He's in London. He's from Bulgaria, and he's like very high level boxer. And as soon as I heard him say that, I was like, oh, bro, this will be easy. I know with the sports guys, traditionally, guys that have sports background, they can make trading work. Traditionally, guys like Malik, who are in the service or have previous military experience, they seem to make trading work. And I always used to hear that there were like certain jobs that would feed into transitioning into trading well. But now I really believe that, for sure. There are certain jobs that if you've done them already, you could do. Do you think there's any other ones? Military, sports, anything else that translates directly into trading? I think
I would say sports is probably, to be honest, is one of the bigger ones. I know that.
Like, bro, have you ever heard of like a doctor transitioning and becoming a trader? No,
not really.
No.
The reason that I've read about this a lot is because doctors think that their intellectual abilities will automatically mean that they're going to be a great trader, and that's just not the case. So they start losing and they go crazy. Exactly. Like they're like, well, I'm following my rules. I'm smart. I should be winning. But smart in this business doesn't make money. Like one of he is my favorite trader to listen to, and favorite trader of all time. And sorry, Austin, it's not you. It's Crudelli, Anthony Crudelli. he doesn't have a degree or fancy degree or anything like that. I mean, I've got a fancy degree, but he's not the smartest guy. He's openly admitted that. But the thing is, he knows how to, from years of experience and losses, how to manage his emotions. And I think, like, sports is a great one. He's
a golfer.
Yep, correct. So I can't think of any on the spot, but I definitely know that this is not an intellectual game. It's an emotional intelligence game.
100%. I heard someone in the Black Shirt Club, I forget who it is. I had a coaching call with them yesterday. It was not yesterday. It was, who was it? Maybe it was, no, it wasn't Rafa. It was somebody. I had a coaching call with someone this week. I forget who. I've had a couple. I don't think it was on our call on Monday with Malik. I was speaking with somebody, and they were telling me that the first trading group they joined told them that they were supposed to, literally the saying of the group was, "We don't take losses." And I literally, I was like, kind of frustrated. Like, to me, that one's not even laughable. Like, to be putting out bad information like that into the space is so disingenuous, bro. Comparing that, like, another one that we all know is something people say, but is not true. We could call them bullshit rules. There's a book by Vishen Lakhiani, and he talks about these things called brules, B-R-U-L-E-S.
I've heard of that book.
Yeah, it's like bullshit society rules. Another that you can break and escape the matrix, kind of, is the idea, right? Live life on your own terms. But another stupid rule, like, you need a college degree to be successful, like James just said. No, you don't. Another one would be indicators don't work. No, you just don't know how to use them. Okay, we only take wins. No, that's just way fucking wrong. Like, that's just way wrong. Yeah. I mean, the people who listen to this far into this episode are probably most of our normal users. And everybody who's been part of this podcast knows, like, every great trader that I've sat down with, that we've sat down and had conversations with, never has said they don't take losses. They only, actually, the longer they trade, the only thing they reference is their losses. Foose was the first guy to talk really about how much money he's made. You'll see when that episode comes out, 5K to 100K and blah, blah, blah. That episode will be out before this one, of course, but, like, it's not out yet. And, like, other than that, bro, Crudelli doesn't talk about how much money. Basso, Burns, name it, bro. Ronchero talked about it a little bit. Lucci, very rarely, but, like, I know Lucci's a guy that's making a couple $100,000 a day most days. So it's like the guys that are really in trading and really the most successful traders, they do not talk about their wins as much as they talk about their losses, because the lessons from the losses are actually more valuable to them than the financial reward of the wins. But to get to that point, I mean, even for all three of us, how long did it take us to get to that point in mindset? A while. It's not an easy thing. Even if I just say that like that, people listening won't be able to just internalize it. It takes time, But isn't that crazy? We don't take losses. Crazy.
That is. We just take your money.
That's what it was in subtext, bro. You're right. We don't take losses. We'll just take all your money. Yeah, bro. And it's so fascinating. Let's transition for a second. I want to talk about something else.
Sure.
Right now, it seems like your country is about to beef with my country, bro. With this BRICS nation thing. China.
My country.
Yes, bro. China, Russia, Brazil.
I know, India. We're creating some currency or something.
So we should talk about this, because a lot of people have been saying, is this the end of the dollar? You guys have seen content like that, right? Is the dollar going to lose its power, the petrodollar? So go ahead. Tell us, what's the word on the street in Durban?
Yeah, so it's Belito. I'm north of Durban.
Sorry.
We the Lanis here, boss. We the Lanis.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, you don't know the South African lingo. That's fancy, word for fancy.
Okay, got it.
We golf course bros.
Got it. We call them Chads, bro. You're like a Chad. You know what a Chad is?
What the big,
like skunk. A bro. It's like a frat boy golfer, bro. Like fun of the beer.
Yeah, that's Evan and I, bro. Evan and I will be pulling all the chicks in the frats if we're in there.
Oh, I know, bro. Well, bro, you better be careful, bro. You're getting a little old for them frat talks. So relax.
Hey, Andrew Tate says he likes them young, so I follow him.
Bro, don't bring him up, bro. Don't get me canceled. I'm just kidding.
Only bald guys that smoke cigars and drink sparkling water.
We should do a podcast where we dress you up like Andrew Tate and bring you on.
We should.
That would get us in trouble,
We have
bro.
to do it in person.
They'd be like blackface or something like that, bro. You know what's funny though?
Okay,
Wait, yeah, you go. We won't go off topic.
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say I heard Andrew Schultz talking about that today, bro. He was like, he was like pointing in the audience. He was like pointing at all the black dudes. He's like, blackface is wrong, right? And the black dude was like, yeah, you can't do that. The other black dude was like, yeah, can't do that. And he was like, why are all y'all laughing? I was asking the black people. They're the only ones that could speak on this. And then he's like, you know what's funny though? You see the Navy SEALs commercials. They're all doing blackface and it's fine. They're coming out of the water in blackface. Yes. They're running at people with black. It was a funny joke. It was funny. All right, so go ahead. Sorry for the sidebar.
No, I was going to say, so we're going to have a good banter. So the thing with South Africa and this, why we like going with China and Russia. So first of all, I just want to say this is the ANC government in South Africa, African National Congress, African National Congress. So they, the party, we're speaking, you guys have learned this in history, apartheid, whatever you want to pronounce it. In 1994 was disbanded, or it was done for, right? That was a segregation of blacks and whites. When the African National Congress came into power, they did really, really well. We won the World Cup, Rugby World Cup, brought the country together. This was before I was even born. And the nation started to do really, really well. Then about like 10 years in, corruption started to happen because Nelson Mandela, when he was not the president anymore, corruption started to come in. Thabo Mbeki was the president. And that's when we started to get in bed with China. So and Russia. The first thing is, so before 1994, Russia and China were actually funding the African National Congress because they knew that apartheid was going to be done for, right? So they wanted South Africa to become a communist country. So America, you guys, were funding the National Party that was in power, and Russia and China were funding the African National Congress. They came into power, and we went with a mixed economy. So we have state-owned enterprises as well as some form of capitalism. So it's mixed. We call ourselves a mixed economy. So that's just the background. You guys need to know that. So we started, obviously, because of that, we still have ties with Russia and China. So that is why the basis of now us creating this currency, whatever you want to call it. But what's interesting, the other day, about 3 months ago, I'm chilling here trading with you guys, and I just hear this big noise, like my desk starts shaking and everything. I'm like, dude, what the hell is that? That was like a low-flying plane. Like, what's that? Anyway, I go on the internet. South Africa has allowed Russian warcrafts to be practice flying in and around Ballito, South Africa. That's where I live. And I'm like, dude, it was going on for like a month, like literally flying about 100 meters, like from the houses, close, bro, like practicing, and like the desk would shake, everything, pretty mad. Yeah. So we're pretty in bed with Russia and China, I'll tell you that.
Definitely. So it's interesting because of the agreement after apartheid. That is when the U.S. tried to have their influence. Russia and China tried to have their influence, and that's that's standard playbook for these more developed nations. They go to the undeveloped nations. They try to help them rebuild and give them infrastructure and give them money and make them economies. So that's good information. Were they flying like real fighter jets, bro? Like,
bro, real fighter jets, like, hectic ones, dark black ones. I don't know what one. The late looked pretty hectic. You could see them pretty close too,
bro. That is pretty crazy, because if you had fighter jets flying over, Evan's laughing because he knows. Imagine if you were looking at the New York City skyline, bro, and they were just testing military aircraft out there. People in America would panic, right? Right, Evan? Yeah. Freak out.
New York, yes.
Freak out.
Yes. I wonder why. Maybe it's got something to do with blue.
Yeah. I feel like the future, and the reason I brought this up is because I feel like since its inception, the dollar has been attacked, and for the future it will continue to be attacked. But what's confusing to me is I'm pretty sure Russia has a smaller economy than California, like by GDP.
Well,
so economically, the only thing, and I love you, bro, but economically South Africa is not a powerhouse. You don't have major exports.
No, of course
you don't have a lot of right. So really,
we could be a lot better, but we have poorly run government
for sure.
Yeah,
corrupt. Yeah. But look at in this BRICS thing, Brazil, very corrupt. Everybody that I
Yes.
know from Brazil, they say government is corrupt. It's never been good. South Africa, somewhat corrupt for sure. Russia and China and India, not so corrupt. They're more established governments, more established.
Like second world countries.
So it seems like Brazil and South Africa just are getting dragged along to try, because you're the potential next big countries, right? With the potential, with the technology and the money that you guys already have, especially with Brazil being so big. So China and India and Russia, which we could talk about this too, and Ev, maybe you chime in on this. They're not the best of friends throughout history. They're probably only doing this because of how much they hate the dollar is dominant and how much they don't want that to happen, right? You want to add anything, Ev? You got any thoughts?
I got no thoughts on that.
Ev, you're like, you're catching up on the economic stuff, bro. I'm deep. I'm just so deep in it.
Yeah,
it's
anytime
so
we talk about it on stream, I'm like,
but you know what, bro? I think what it really is I listen to smart old people. Old people know a lot. They lived through a lot. They can generate good ideas. Like Ray Dalio. Dalio says the dollar is on its way out. We're in stage 5 of the 6 stages. The thing that comes next is some type of physical conflict. Okay. Even if we have physical conflict, the future of money will have to be digital. And when it is digital, I think you could have multiple global reserve currencies because people will choose to do trade in whatever they want to trade in because it's digital now. It's not like you have to have physical gold reserves. It's not backed by anything. So I could see multiple reserve currencies. Think about it like this. The pound is still around. The dollar is the dominant currency.
Yeah.
If something was to dethrone the dollar will still be around. Some people will use it less. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got two things to say. The first of all, the reason why South Africa is getting bombarded into this, coerced into this agreement, is because South Africa actually has one of, if not the most, natural resources in the world when it comes to gold, the mining industry in South Africa and in Africa in general is
huge.
Immense.
Yes.
I got friends that are, their dads are multi-millionaires in dollars. Like I'm talking $10 million, $20 million plus, that they own mines that in like the Congo and Nigeria and those type of countries, and in South Africa. Like the natural resources in South Africa is actually immense. We've just squandered a lot of it, but we have so much gold, and like the mining industry is so bigger. So that is why we get pulled into a lot of these, like China.
Because they want your shit. They want your resources.
Exactly. And we just, our government's so corrupt. They're like, oh yes, pay us this, we'll give you, like, so they all
What's the French influence like in Africa, bro? When you go north of South Africa, I heard France is
more West Africa is very French, like the Congo, Ghana, like that's more French. East Africa, where I was actually now in Zanzibar this past holiday, is more traditional languages that are spoken there. More West Africa that is spoken, like Cote d'Ivoire and all that stuff is
French. It's French. And I know that they have a lot of influence in Chad, Niger, those other countries. Yes.
Correct. So that's more that side, like 100%. And
but France is in the shitter too, bro. France is not where I would want to be. Yeah, Morocco
too. So that's all West Africa stuff.
All West Africa stuff.
He speaks French. That's all West Africa.
Yeah.
He speaks like 6 languages. That guy is like a computer. But there was another one another point that you're making there. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Yes. Just because, and I know we're going on now, but just because of that, if the dollar gets dethroned, this is what I always tell people. The dollar is still going to be here. Just maybe, okay, cool. The South African rand might be the strongest currency. Well, it doesn't really matter what's going to be the strongest currency. You're still going to be able to trade currencies. I don't think currencies will ever go away.
No.
And also for interest sake, like I think most of the people's money are digital nowadays anyway.
Right.
But personally, I think it's going to be tough to go digital. This is just my 2 cents, because the drug trade is so big in the world, like the Pablo Escobars of this world. And we're going to a conspiracy theorist here, but the CIA and all that are involved in that drug trade. They're helping the people get across, the border lines and everything. So what you're paying for that drugs in cash, you're not paying for it in someone's bank account. So personally, I think it's going to be quite tough to go digital, full digital, because the high ups in those organizations won't let that happen, because they're getting back-ends from letting them go through the borders and that, right?
Great point, bro. It's a great point. The financing, you always just go where the money is. That's where you want, when you want to find answers, find out where the money is. That will help you figure out who's really in control. So my point with it, bigger than anything that we've mentioned already, even if everybody's right and BRICS is dethroning the dollar, it's not happening in a month. It's not happening in a year. It's going to take our entire lives. It happens way slower. Think about the transition. I don't know if you guys know this. Before coal, what do you think we burned for power?
Jeez, I don't know.
Come on, think about it. Evan, come on, you don't know?
Before coal?
Before coal, what did we use to create heat and power?
It wood?
Yes. So
my degree did come in handy.
Get this, bro. Two things about that. It took 75 years to really make a more than 50% transition from wood to coal. Okay. 75 years for that. And do you think how many people were like, we're done with wood. Coal is amazing. It's going to be the best. For how long? Their whole lives before it really took fold. That's the first thing. The second thing, just as a side note, it's actually worse for the environment to burn wood than it is to burn coal from research that I've seen. We are actually up until like 1990 something, we were actually still seeing negative impacts on the ozone layer from the wood that was burned years before. Isn't that crazy? So
that is bad.
Talk about conspiracy theories, bro. That fossil fuel thing is very interesting. They make everybody think, everybody believes now that oil is a finite resource, yet it comes from the earth. Yet they want us to think we're going to run out of it. I have a feeling that the earth can reproduce a lot of oil more than we realize. And one day they're going to be like, maybe they're going to be like, oh, we all the time, they're just discovering more natural resources. Pocket of natural gas. Here's an interesting thing too, because I like geography. If you look at the earth and its center, as far down as we've dug, which is very, very far, I don't remember the exact number, would basically be the distance from Portugal to somewhere in France. Very, very small, like a couple 100 miles, not very far at all. Is how far we've gone. The whole distance from the crust, the top of the earth where we're sitting, to the center of the earth is like going from Portugal to Israel. So think about like how much more of the earth, if we drill down, we could find. So who knows? I just don't like when they box it in. This is it. It's finite. Well, are you sure? Are we sure? And I think the reason oil comes to mind is like, the only reason that people worry about the dollar having power is because of the petrodollar, because oil is the most traded thing in the world. It's a hot commodity more than gold and everything else. Oil is what drives everything in the world. Take away the oil and everybody can't move. So if oil is not traded in dollars, people will say that that's a disadvantage for the United States. But let me throw this other thing in there because I've been down some rabbit holes that could be interesting to think about. If we don't need oil, does the dollar have to be dominant? No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like James said, you can transact in whatever currency you want. So why don't we just get rid of the dependency on oil? And then this comes into some of these dark, deep projects. If people listening, Google 0 point energy. It's fascinating. It's like deep physics. Like I'm just a day trader. I don't know shit about it. But it's if you Google that and then Google flux liner, the flux liner was a Lockheed Martin Skunk Works project, one of the early UFO looking crafts that would tap into this flux energy field, which is beneath the atomic and subatomic levels within matter. And in that energy field, if you could capture enough energy to fill up a coffee cup, it's so powerful. From what I saw and what I heard, it could melt all of the oceans on the earth at once. One coffee cup of this energy. It's that powerful. So with all this UFO stuff that we're seeing where they're flying fast, theories that UFOs have crashed in the US and other governments have tried to back engineer and master the technology. I actually believe, take the dollar away. We're about to, in our lifetime, you're going to remember this in 50 years whenever it comes out, guys. This free energy, like Tesla talked about, tapping into the unlimited, he called it the infinite energy field. That's coming in our lifetime. So when that comes and oil and then the Saudis and everybody loses stability, I don't want to be in Dubai. I want to be in America. And because I think America will have their shit together to figure out, to be at the cutting edge of that. I think we already are. It's just deep, they call it deep black, not to be racist, but it's deep black. It's deep hidden. So there's a lot of, the reason I share that is not to turn this into the tinfoil hat show. It's just, So people understand, like, yes, we could be losing dollar power, dollar hegemony, it's called. Okay. But what other technology is being developed that could make it so you don't even need dollar hegemony? Like, again, if we don't need as much oil because we're moving into this 0-point energy that anybody can have, it's unlimited electricity, it's free, it can be used for thrust to push planes and push rockets. We won't need oil as much. I mean, did you see the big Tesla rocket that they launched today? Falcon Heavy?
I saw that on,
Bro,
yeah.
When that thing goes off, it's got like 40 engines underneath it. All that thrust and combustion. Do we really think, like, just have fun with this thought. Do we really think we're going to travel the solar system with some form of combustion like that? Like travel the distance past Mars to see other. How could we use thrust? Think about how much gas and diesel and all that other, even if it's nuclear, all that energy you would need. It's not possible. I don't believe. You'd have to have refueling stations all over the place. The infrastructure for that is ridiculous. There has to be better technology, which is, I'm telling you, the 0-point energy stuff. It's wild. And he says, the guy who I listened to about it, he says he has celebrities that he's going to be giving this technology to. So we're going to see like Demi Lovato is going to have one of them. And then everyone's going to be talking about it. And then the media won't be able to keep it hush hush when Demi Lovato and Matt Damon and all the celebrities we follow, when they have a machine and it gives their house and everything energy for free, it'll spread like wildfire. And then think about who's going to be pissed. Oil and electricity companies. They're going out of business. You're taking trillions of dollars off the table. Yeah. So that's what do you think of that? It's fun to think about, isn't it?
Well, yeah, no, but again, I've, but first of all, I think that you've definitely smoked today.
Not yet, bro. Not yet. We're still working. Not yet.
So, so just to go on that point quickly, I definitely think there needs to be someone strong enough, like an Elon Musk, that has enough power, like, not to say it as well, but Andrew Tate also, to do whatever, say stuff, and Donald Trump to say stuff. I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to say whatever I want. Because I remember, so this is just a story from the hydro car that was run on water, right? So there's a car there's a plan that a guy created a car that he proved it to investors that could run on water.
Didn't
right?
They kill him?
So he had this thing that was going to go live. He was in a bar the one night meeting with investors, and all of a sudden he started running out of the bar saying, they poisoned me. And he obviously was poisoned by cyanide. They killed him. Clean facts, and was swept underneath the rug. To this day, that car, the plans for that is open source. Anybody can go and create it. Why do you think it hasn't been created yet? Because anybody that does is killed.
Because they don't want.
So you need someone like an Elon Musk that has enough power and protection that's basically untouchable to be like, well, stuff you guys, I'm going to do this because, I'm a billionaire. You guys, you're going to protect me. And then they can't, because as soon as they start fighting within each other, that's when these things come to fruition, I think.
Absolutely. No, bro, but I mean, like, there's a documentary coming out in June from the guy that I listened to about some of this stuff that's under the rug. He says that the FBI confiscated a bunch of Tesla's files and Tesla's inventions back when he died. He died in a hotel room, and all of his files were in these big trunks, and the FBI took all of it. And in those were all his patents and his inventions, his future ideas. I guarantee you he had ideas that could be better for humanity, but they keep it under wraps for whatever reason. They don't want certain things. Yeah, they just don't. No.
100%. I agree. Well, why do you think there's not a cure for cancer? Because people have to pay all the time.
Out of business.
And I'm not saying that for people that my mom's had cancer and actually beat it. But the reason I'm saying this is because it's just true. What I've realized since leaving school is that there's a lot more. Life is not as simple as it is explained to you. You have to create your own thinking. If you don't create your own thinking, you're just part of the herd. You're
a sheep. Yeah. Even like people listening to this, or someone is going to be like, Austin's crazy. Yeah, that's fine. But it's thinking about these fun ideas and exploring them with critical thinking of, could it be possible? Could it not be? Who doesn't want that to be? Who would want that to be? That's where you start to get to the bottom of things. And I said this the other day. I was like, anybody that ever tries to speak fact and just speak out and like preach fact, I don't like that. I like debate. You keep your points. I'm going to bring somebody with the other points, and we're going to have you two go at it. And then I'll make my decision based on that. Two experts in that field. Go at it. Yeah.
All
right. 100%. Last thing here, because I got another call in a few minutes. 2024 president election. Are you voting for Trump, James?
I would if I could, but I'm a South African, unfortunately. But if you want to know my answer, I would. Yes.
Yeah. Ev, how do you feel about it being in New York? Do you feel like a lot of people up there are fed up with the Democrats? Do you feel like a lot of people are switching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
You know what irritates me though. Sorry, you know what irritates me, Evan. I know I'm not an American, but America is like when America sneezes, everyone catches a cold. So I'm always caught up on your guys. Like I love watching. For Evan and I was speaking before, and then Austin about sports and everything like that, about the Washington team, change of names, etc., etc. So but
You mean
I'm
the
always
red people?
up in your guys' world. But you know what always irritates me? If you like a conservative and you get asked, would you vote for Trump? And if you say yes, people are scared to say yes. But if someone said to a Biden supporter, would you vote for Biden? They're like, yes, I would. So you must speak, 100%.
Yeah.
That's true.
Did you have anything else you wanted to throw in there, Ev?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the political climate is going to be fun, and trading through that is going to be so much fun. Markets are going to love it.
Yep, but the thing is, I don't know if Trump's going to win the elections. But what about Ron DeSantis and what's that other guy's name?
We got a couple. There's a couple that'll be in the race, bro. Chris Christie's going to be in the race from Jersey. He's going to run again.
So there's other good guys, within. Yeah,
bro,
so,
I said on my stream, I think yesterday or today, whatever. I was like, Robert Kennedy Jr. is running as a Democrat, and he will have my interest for sure. I'm never going to be like, I only vote Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
That is so ignorant, especially when throughout history, back in the day, the Democrats were for slavery. The Republicans were not. The parties flip-flop.
Yeah.
And, bro, when I was growing up, George Bush and Dick Cheney, they were the Republican warmongers that took us to war. Yeah. And the Democrats were like, no war. Now the Democrats are like, get your ass, we're taking our money to war. It flips. Yeah. So you can't just be like, I'm only Democrat.
No, you have to be open-minded.
Yep, you have to be. That's why it's like, I'll entertain a Democrat, of course, bro, especially a JFK kind of Democrat. Fuck yeah, bro. That's what we need. Young, aggressive, reasonable. Like, hey, if we see data that says COVID came from a lab, it probably came from a lab. Not like, I don't know if we should believe that. Like, no, change your mind. Be open-minded,
Yeah.
That's what we
100%.
need. But like you said, bro, when America sneezes, everybody catches a cold. So everybody listening all over the world should be paying attention. I mean, and our America's influence and power cannot be understated. You know what I mean? So the election here, bro, when other countries see Joe Biden, literally the words he used the other day at a press conference were, let's go lick the world.
Yeah, I mean, no,
it's not even laughing, bro. It's embarrassing.
It's actually embarrassing. It's not even. Embarrassing. You can't laugh at it. It's just actually like you don't even know if it's true or not.
You feel bad.
But just to get,
it's like he's like 80 you feel bad years old.
Guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but to get on the more lighthearted.
Yeah,
sorry.
I could keep going, bro.
So, yeah.
Oh, we let Grandpa.
2 strokes. He sounds like Austin when he was making his baby.
Right, bro. Exactly.
So I wanted to ask a question. What do you guys think of the NBA playoffs that are happening right now? I don't know if you guys watch the NBA.
I like the new format where they had to play to get in. I like it. Makes it exciting.
Yeah. Because the Warriors are down 2-0 to the
Bro, the Warriors are done, bro. The Warriors are done.
Yeah.
Warrior powers.
Suspended, they're out.
Yeah, Draymond suspended for stepping on that guy.
He's not even a basketball player, bro. He's a clown, bro. He's a clown. They tell him it's like having the big dude on your hockey team, and they're like, "Yo, go rough up their best player. Even if you get a penalty, it's all right. Rough." Yeah. That's what Draymond is. He's not a basketball player, bro.
Go rough him up. But Evan, maybe you can speak on this as well. The Grizzlies beat the Lakers yesterday. But Ja Morant, he's injured. Remember when he was there listening to NBA Youngboy in the club? Remember he got like suspended for like 8 games and that.
He went on like a little retreat to fix himself because he was trying to be hood when he's from like North Carolina.
He went to a private school.
Bro, like, he's the guy in 8 Mile. Where Eminem's like, Clarence
school.
Went to whatever. Yeah, he's Clarence, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, but it's been good, guys. Today was quite good. We covered a lot, which is cool.
Yeah, it's always a home team episode is always good, but we'll wrap it here for now because I know I got another call in 10 minutes, and James, it's late for you. So it's been good, boys. I appreciate both of you guys always, and I know the audience does too. So listen, home team fans, if you liked the episode and you watched and listened all the way through, let us know. Hit the comments. Just say I watched all the way through. Appreciate it, guys. Let us know. And if there's any topics that you want to see discussed in future episodes, as always, we are open door. Let us know. We will get it done. We're going to keep putting out episodes every 4 to 5 days. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. If you want to leave us a review because you love us so much, we really appreciate that. It helps more people find the podcast. But I know some people, it's really hard to go into the review thing and click the 5-star. It's a lot of work with the fingers. It's crazy. So I don't ask for too much. But no, this has been good, boys. James, as always, I appreciate you. Ev, thank you. And for everybody listening, watching, we appreciate you guys as well. And we'll see everybody in the next episode.